So today we're going to do a little, well, what I'd call a hidden history tour of Dublin. So I'm going to a few spots that I know that are probably a little bit less known, or that you might end up walking past every day. First up, we're here in Dublin Castle. So starting off, first of all, in that ground floor window was where the Irish crown jewels were stolen in 1907, and they've never been recovered. So that at the time was a major crime in the city, but the jewels were never recovered. And then there's plaques dotted around for all the different events that took place here, but one of the main ones was Michael Collins signing over the British government. So it was in the room just above this arch in that centre window where the Dublin Castle was officially signed over to Michael Collins and the provisional government in 1922. So if you ever see that famous scene in the film Michael Collins where he tells them that they had 700 years and they can keep their 7 minutes, that was here. Now, another easy place to find just outside Dublin Castle and beside the Tourist Information Office is what was the old headquarters of the F Company of the Auxiliaries during the War of Independence, and it's just here beside City Hall. So they have that, and then Tourist Information Offices. But it was here on 21st of November 1920 that the Dick McKee, Padda Clancy and Conor Clune were tortured and executed by the F Company of the Auxiliaries. So obviously someone has left a wreath there. But this building was the headquarters of the F Company of the Auxiliaries, and it was probably on the ground floor here that the men were tortured and killed. So that plaque there commemorates the events. So a bit more unusual hidden history. Here on Dawson Street in Dublin is the foundation of the national organisation of the Orange Order. Took place at this location on the 9th of April 1798. So now the Orange Order started in Armagh 1795, but the first national meeting of it to make the Grand Lodge was actually in Dublin, which I didn't know about until recently. So that's in Dawson Street. Just was in these premises. Now, if you were to walk down this street during the War of Independence, you would be coming up to one of the most important buildings during the Intelligence War, and that would have been the Outfitters. I think it was an Outfitters or possibly a newspaper publication that was used as a cover for the IRA intelligence headquarters, and that was behind this green door at number 3 Cross Street. So this was the headquarters of the IRA intelligence unit, and men like Charlie Dalton and Frank Thornton would operate here and sent out messages to the squad and gathered information. And just up there and then to the right would be Dublin Castle, but they were located very, very close. But there's not left now. There's nothing to show what it was, and I don't even know what's behind the green door, but it looks pretty cool. But there you have it. From the Temple Bar area is the family home of Kevin Barry. So Kevin Barry was born in Dublin, and I think he grew up for part of his life in Wicklow and also Dublin, but it was in the Temple Bar area that was his home, and he was one of the most famous deaths from the War of Independence because he was only 18 years old when he was hung in Mountjoy prison and then buried on the grounds along with 9 other IRA men, and who became known as the Forgotten 10 until their bodies were reinterred in Glasnevin Cemetery in 2001. I'm going to say it is. Now his home is just here, so if you're in Temple Bar, that's like the Temple Bar Square, and then just beside the House of Names, historic family. So if you are coming from abroad, you can trace your family roots there a little bit and get like a little plaque. But his family home was just here, so just above that sign you can see that plaque under the window, and that was the home of Kevin Barry.